White House President Trump warning there will be what he calls severe consequences if Russian President Vladimir Putin does not agree to a ceasefire in Ukraine, as the two are set to meet Friday.
I'm here to stop 6,000, 7,000 people last week. 7,213 people last week were killed. Mostly soldiers.
Ukraine's President Zelensky will not take part in the talks, but President Trump has said that he could in the future if this round is successful. Some of the National Guard soldiers President Trump has called up to D.C. will be back on the street tonight as part of the federal takeover of the district's police department.
An Army official tells Fox News more than 400 National Guard members are in the city ready to deploy, but to be clear, that doesn't mean all of them are going to be going out tonight by any means. Now, Guard troops took their posts last night patrolling the streets and neighborhoods of the nation's capital. I reached out to D.C. police for some of the crime statistics from this week since the federal takeover, but it was referred to the White House. White House officials say there were a total of 43 arrests.
Fox's David Spunt. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has been meeting with administration officials, but she says violent crime is at a 30-year low. This year's Kennedy Center honorees include Sylvester Stallone, disco singer Gloria Gaynor, and the rock group Kiss. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The rhetoric over redistricting. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending this hour. Democrats from Indiana joined Democrats from Texas and Chicago on Wednesday to express their disdain for Republicans' attempts to try and redraw districts. One of those was Cherish Pryor of Indianapolis.
The position we face today should trouble every American who believes in the promise of this country.
She says efforts to redistrict in the middle of a decade is morally corrupt. What you might also find corrupt is that someone stole hundreds of bronze vases valued at more than $170,000 from headstones over the last week at New Crown Cemetery in Indianapolis.
We have found vases, bronze vases, and some that aren't bronze but are metal, and had 2 bronze memorials that have been removed, but we found them and they're still at the cemetery, and we will replace those.
Linda Gillette is the cemetery's general manager. IMPD is working with Gillette and her staff on the case. The state says they got some good news in regards to growth and education. Johnette Cruz reports.
Indiana's reporting a big jump in third grade literacy rates. The latest iRead assessment shows a nearly 5 percentage point increase, with 87% of students now reading proficiently. State leaders say the success is thanks to strategic investments in early literacy, with Governor Mike Braun calling the growth an example of how we are leading the nation in education. Johnette Cruz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm John Herrick. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
We can't rule out a spotty shower or thunderstorm into early tonight with lows in the mid-upper 60s. Thursday's going to be a little less humid, but still on the warmer side, with highs pushing into the mid to upper 80s with dry time as well. I'm with TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
It's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation, and it's the end of summer here in Indy, and your AC is working overtime just trying to keep your house cool and comfortable. What can you do to make a difference? Replace your old or builder-grade windows with new ones from Window Nation. Schedule a consult and get 50% off all window styles, plus you could even get them with 0 down, 0 payment, 0 interest for 2 years, which makes Window Nation more affordable on average than other companies.
Window Nation's windows are made from high-quality materials, so they won't let the cool air out during the hot summer. They're so good, they're backed with a lifetime warranty, and they can install them in 1 day or less. With an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau and over 3 million windows installed, you can trust Window Nation for quality and service. But you have to hurry. This 50% off window sale ends soon, so don't miss out. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age. making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tony Kinnett.
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 Host of the Tony Kinnett Cast.
Let's get down to business.
You're listening to the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
WCYTV. Here on the Daily 60.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is not Tony Kinnett. This is your designated fill-in host for the evening, Ethan Hatcher of Saturday Night on the Circle, which you can hear 7 to 9 every Saturday night right here on WIBC, and also catch us broadcasting live on the YouTube machine, which we are doing right now, by the way, so make sure to hop in the chat and join the fun if you haven't done so already. But before we get to all that this evening, first, your quick news roundup.
News on the march.
Tonight on the show, I'll reflect on the Indiana State Fair as the festivities wind down after what was an unfortunately rowdy start documented by social media watchdogs. You'll also hear about the dire ruination of New York and Michigan streets on the east side of Indianapolis by sneering anti-car activists. And as controversy consumes the State House following reports of an AI porn video circulating of a state lawmaker, Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith continues to deny it exists and blames local media outlets for reporting the facts. Finally, we'll update you on the status of squalid Fountain Square Skid Row, that and more. But this was your quick news roundup.
News on the march.
Thanks for joining the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC. Of course, I wanted to kick things off by commemorating the Indiana State Fair. I love Indiana State Fair days. Every beginning of August, it's a cherished memory. I always try to go at least one day, maybe more if I can squeeze it in and find an excuse to go. I went yesterday, and of course, it was fantastic. Producer Allison, are you a big fan of the Indiana State Fair as well? Did you get to go?
I love the fair. I haven't been out yet, but this is the last weekend, right?
Yes.
So that's my goal.
Sunday's your last day, so you got 4 days left to do it. You missed a golden opportunity yesterday for $2 Tuesday, the return of $2 Tuesday. They had yanked that due to inflation, and it had transformed into $3 Thursday.
That's all I forgot about that.
Womp.
Yikes.
I mean, they're already charging an outrageous amount for some of these foods. Squeezing an extra dollar worth of inflation on the discount day seemed a little uncalled for, so I'm glad that has made a return.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you find any good food snacks? What was the top ones?
Well, I kind of ate my way around the state fair with the $2 discounts. Let's see. I had some $2 Dippin' Dots. I had some $2 tenderloin slider, $2 miniature elephant ear, $2 corn dog, $2 maple root beer from over there next to the Pioneer Village. I splurged for a full price ribeye sandwich.
Worth it.
I got some honeycomb to take home with me from Martinsville Hunter's Honey Farm.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, great guys, great honey. And then also I got a turkey leg. Can't stay away from the turkey leg.
Classic.
Yeah, right there toward the end of the day, and then I brought it home with me. Oh, and a couple of bags of kettle corn to munch on over the next few weeks. Look, guys, I'm a big old fatty. I turned myself into a glutton for State Fair Day, but it's once a year, and that's my excuse. That's what I like to splurge on. I'm not going to the Midway, and why would you when you've got what appear to be some rather rowdy fights that were going on? That was a very unfortunate start to the State Fair, but I'm happy to report, Allison, that during my attendance, everything was fine. Everybody was having a happy, safe, good time. Now, I got out of there around 6 p.m., but even in those fights that were posted to social media, it wasn't at night when you're kind of expecting things to start going south. This was in the middle of the afternoon. So that's why the State Fair, they kind of tightened up those attendance policies, unaccompanied minors, and then the age of what their guardians can be. And it appeared to have the desired results because at least while I was there, everything was above board. And that's what you want to see. when it comes to the state fair. Always a cherished event. So if you haven't done so, make sure to get out this weekend, because this is your last opportunity. Final day, Sunday, the 17th. Also, something I wanted to personally gripe about is the ruination of New York and Michigan streets. What was supposed to be Monday but didn't come into full effect until Tuesday was the traffic pattern change on New York and Michigan, converting those what had been incredibly efficient one-way arterial thoroughfares for the city into these two-lane, two-way roads that's turning the neighborhood into a nightmare. They've eliminated half of all parking for the available residents there. And before everybody chimes in, like, well, they can park in their garage, they can park in the alley. Not everybody who owns a home has a garage or has an alley access along those streets. So this is going to significantly impact the community in a negative way. And then you've got these now extra wide, double wide, isolated bike lanes. And that's part of the reason why they ate up half of all available parking, that have to have specialty snowplow devices to even plow the damn things. Because you can't get to it. You can't get to it with a regular snowplow. So the city is having to invest in specialty equipment just to stroke the egos of these anti-car activists who are so consumed with control over your life that they will use any excuse to make the lives and make the daily routines of commuters and car owners more inconvenient. They know they can't get away with confiscating and banning your car outright. Trust me, they would if they could get away with it, but they will settle for inconveniencing your life to any degree possible. And it allows the citizenry to be more easily controlled. That's kind of the sinister side effect of all this. So yeah, that's my personal gripe, and it's coming to a street near you. They're continuing to make these changes to what had been very efficient traffic patterns that go all the way back to our founding, when the city was designed by Alexander Ralston, who was a Scottish-American surveyor and worked designing Washington, D.C. with Pierre L'Enfant, and implemented many of those design choices in the outline for Indianapolis. It's something that has served us literally for a couple of hundred years at this point, and these people think that they can reinvent the wheel, that they are smarter than people who thought up a design that has functioned well for the city for hundreds of years, and it's frankly ridiculous. Other people who are trying to reinvent the wheel, of course, are the roundabouts up there on the north side of Indianapolis in the Carmel area. They've replaced more than 100 stoplights with these roundabouts that got a little attention from a feature from John Stossel praising them for supposed safety and traffic calming effects. Bah humbug, I say.
The town with the most roundabouts in America, Carmel, Indiana. Its mayor is Jim Brainerd.
You got 133 of them in your little town? It's crazy.
We've converted almost all of our traffic lights to roundabouts because we save lives.
Roundabouts do save lives. This study found roundabouts had slightly more crashes, but many fewer deaths and injuries. It's because of the angle of the cars.
Instead of a T-bone, you get a side swipe.
Also because cars slow down.
You see somebody do something, you're about to have an accident, you have more time to brake.
Slowing people down, though, makes it seem like it'll take longer for cars to get through intersections.
It really doesn't. The statistics are that a roundabout moves 50% more traffic than a traffic light.
Let's drive! The show Mythbusters did their own tests and confirmed that compared to stop signs,
the roundabout is a more efficient way to move cars through an intersection.
I don't believe you.
Now, producer Allison can attest to this. Anybody who's driven on the north side of Indianapolis can attest to this, especially during rush hour. Traffic up there is a nightmare. It's a flustercuck. They are not moving traffic more efficiently. Sorry, I've driven through the implementation. You're not pulling the fast one. You're not pulling the wool over our eyes here.
Yeah, I get the idea of a roundabout, and I do think they are helpful. We don't need how many? 131?
133. It's
for
one city. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach to intersection design. Like, I am for the enlightened implementation of roundabouts where the necessity arises. A great implementation is right on the east side of Indianapolis near the Justice Complex in the Twin Air strip mall area. That replaced a five-road stop that was very confusing, and then this allows the traffic to flow without what was a very confusing stoplight and intersection for people to navigate. Like, because the way the lights were positioned, sometimes it would give the wrong lane the impression that it was their turn to go just because of the awkward positioning of the lights. This eliminates that. So the correct implementation of roundabouts, I'm all for, but as you said, 133 is overkill, and it's not a one-size-all-fits-all approach to intersection design. That's my 2 cents. I think John Stossel is just looking at the blanket statistics, but from people who have to navigate the roads, just like the change in the traffic pattern on New York and Michigan, they know that this is bullpucky. And roundabouts are just one of my gripes. I don't like it. Thanks for listening to the Tony Kinnett Cast. Of course, we got a lot more coming up on the show, including the scandal that has been brewing over the last 2 weeks in the Lieutenant Governor's office, stemming from an alleged AI porn video that was shared from one of his staffers, and then the investigations surrounding that, which he claims have revealed nothing and continues to deny the very existence of such a video. We'll play the sound coming up next. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace through strength.
Emmer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers. Come see the full line of breathtaking Lincoln vehicles at Indiana's premier Lincoln dealership. From the moment you arrive at Tom Roush Lincoln, you'll know you've arrived. Shop over 200 new Lincolns in our state-of-the-art family-owned and operated dealership with no pressure. Just the award-winning service and respect you deserve, plus complimentary pickup and delivery for service. Luxury awaits you at Tom Roush Lincoln and Fishers.
It's the strongest hearts that remind us to cherish the moments. It's the grandmas who made us sit up straighter, the grandpas who showed us old records, and the parents who were embarrassingly loud at our games. It's those hearts that are anything but ordinary. Caring for extraordinary hearts for decades, Franciscan Health knows heart care is more than just a name on a chart. It's somebody who shaped your whole life. Heal your heart today at franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
Hey, it's Matt Baer for Concrete Exteriors. Don't wait to beautify your home for summer for a fresh new look and increased home value. New siding by Concrete Exteriors is the answer. From James Hardy fiber cement siding to a big array of vinyl siding colors and styles, the experienced pros at Concrete have all the choices. Plus, a lifetime workmanship warranty and over 10,000 satisfied customers. For your free estimate, call Concrete Exteriors at 317-ROOFING or visit concreteexteriors.com. Tell them I sent you.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
AdventNose.com. Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Watching your parents get older is something you never get used to. You know it's going to happen, but it still doesn't seem right, especially when the time comes to consider moving a parent into a nursing home. It's a hard decision for you and them. And when that's the right choice, there's the added stress of what to do with the house. Simple Quarters understands and can help relieve some of that stress. They're a Christian company who is compassionate about what you and your parent are going through. They can help with the logistics of selling the home. They'll buy it as is, no need for repairs, cleaning, staging, or showings. No catch. It's one less thing for you to worry about. Simple Quarters, a Christian company dedicated to helping families through life's transitions. If you're facing the challenge of selling a home due to a loved one moving into an assisted living or nursing home, call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Or go to simplequarters.com.
Indy Humane. Find your new best friend today. Visit indyhumane.org.
You're listening to the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the Tony Kinnett Cast. This is Ethan Hatcher of Saturday Night on the Circle filling in this evening. And this week it appears that Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is fanning the flames of the Indiana State House to enact redistricting that would favor Republicans, granting them potentially another 2 seats in the state. This was said while he was at an event in Maryville, Indiana over Tuesday, where he stated, I look at what states like California, Illinois, New York, Delaware, and Massachusetts are doing. They've been gerrymandering the living daylights out of their states. I don't like gerrymandering personally, but if California is doing it, that's the new rules of the game, and Indiana should follow suit in order to stay competitive on a national level. Now, this follows a meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance and influential members of the State House, including Governor Micah Beckwith, this past week, where they were having a secretive meeting behind a curtain, which I thought was an odd call, considering the nature of the conversation. And then now Indiana Democrats have met with Indiana Democrats from Texas in the state of Illinois to protest the changes. I could not agree more. I think we should listen to Dr. Ian Malcolm when it comes to the idea of redistricting.
I'll tell you the problem with the scientific power that you're using here. It didn't require any discipline to attain it. You know, you read what others had done, and you took the next step. You didn't earn the knowledge for yourselves, so you don't take any responsibility. You stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something as fast as you could, and before you even knew what you had, you patented it and packaged it and slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and now you're selling it. You want to sell it. Well,
I don't think you're giving us our due credit. Our scientists have done things which nobody's ever done before.
Yeah, but your scientists were so preoccupied with whether or not they could, they didn't stop to think if they should.
They're so preoccupied with asking whether or not they could, they haven't stopped to think whether or not they should. This is in the middle of the census cycle. We have 5 years until the next U.S. Census is taking, at which time is when traditionally the districts are redrawn. This is a nakedly political suggestion, and for the governor to even entertain the idea of calling a special session when he denied the opportunity to call a special session for tax reform, and then just for the nakedly political move of potentially removing 2 Democrat districts within the state and flipping them to Republican seats. You also got to ask yourself about the quality of representation when you have these uncontested gerrymandered districts. Look at what's happened to the state of Indiana since the Republican supermajority has taken control following it's been almost 20 years now, since about 2008 when that happened. And ever since that time, Republican governance quality has diminished year after year. So handing Republicans uncontested congressional seats is not the solution to solve Democrat gerrymandering, and it is a recipe to enshrining lackluster leadership in office. Now, another controversy that has consumed the State House, in addition to this, is the AI porn scandal that has been unfolding over the last couple weeks in the office, allegedly, of Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith. And he has drawn a line in the sand on this issue. He was on the radio earlier this week with Kayla Blakesley about the incident on Fort Wayne. Whoa.
So I learned about this Saturday. So I got a call from one of my staffers, and he said, hey, a treasurer's office, and former employee in the treasurer's office was contacted by a journalist who said that the treasurer's office and my office were involved in this. And so we took it seriously. Obviously, we're not gonna sit back and just say, oh, there's nothing there. We took it seriously because obviously that would be there's no tolerance for that. Someone would be fired instantly if that was going on in our office. But looked into it, did our internal investigations. The more we look into it, the more we realize there's literally nothing here. There's no video. Nobody's ever seen this video that we can find. Anybody, nobody even knows that this video exists.
Like the deep fake video, you mean?
Deep fake video. So, I've to this day have not seen anyone or talked with anyone that's ever even seen it, let alone seen the video.
I see nothing. I know nothing. I don't know if you caught that, Allison, but in the soundbite there, this was a minute-long clip, and just after he said, we looked into it, and we will always take this seriously because we would never say that there's nothing there. It took him 17 seconds after that to say, but we looked into it, and there was nothing there. Like, literally, guy, this is turning, and when you make these blanket definitive statements, it took him less than 48 hours to come back with the results of this supposed investigation, and then now he doesn't want to publish the process to you. He doesn't want to be transparent to you, but he is representing this as a definitive certitude, and now the sharks are circling. They smell blood in the water. You've got a grand jury investigation that has been reported. You've got the Marion County Prosecutor's Office that is looking into this. You've got other law enforcement agencies which are looking into this as well. And the question yet remains, what mechanism, what entity did Micah Beckwith use to engage this investigation that he is now so certain this AI video not only wasn't shared in his office, but doesn't exist at all? And what's most disgusting about this is during the same interview with Wowo there in Fort Wayne, he doubled down on claiming that it doesn't exist and then blamed media entities, specifically WIBC, for reporting the story as released.
So there's literally nothing here. And so the media just picked it up, and it was this news source that I'd never heard of before.
Me neither.
24 site news. But then WIBC just picks it up and starts running with it like there's something there. Woo! And they push this out, and they're like, oh, well, this is obviously something because some reporter somewhere in the country got an alleged tip from some, and they're all anonymous sources. This is the same thing they did to Trump. And I'm like, have we not learned anything, guys, from what President Trump went through? And so again, there's very serious allegations, and we take them very seriously in my office, and that kind of action won't be tolerated. But I'm also going to call out the media here and just people pushing this narrative that there's literally no basis for fact.
Hey, buddy, you need a ride? I was just on my way to the big doofus convention.
So this is a little bit of a dishonest showmanship on the part of the lieutenant governor, acting like WIBC is out on their lonesome and it's just Tom LoBianco, WIBC, and no other media entities that are reporting on this. This has made its way to international outlets like the Daily Mail. It's been reported by other media entities. This is picking up steam, and it's a story that's not just going to disappear at the wave of a hand. And you can see how these antics and these scandals are wearing on Governor Mike Braun, who would like to engage in anything but the distraction that is caused by the circus sideshow of his lieutenant governor's office. This was his response when asked about the scandal during an interview on the Hammer and Nigel show earlier this week.
Take me through your thoughts on the controversy, if you want to call it that, with the lieutenant governor.
Never a dull moment in a couple of our state offices. And when it comes to this, it's being litigated between his office and the individual impacted by it. And I think I was clear on that. If that were in my office, it would be fully transparent. There'd be quick action to get to the bottom of it. So, ironically, each state office has its own jurisdiction there. You can use the microphone. You can say what you ought to do. I don't think it's clear exactly what the details are, whether there'll be a formal investigation. I think there needs to be something probably
he said
beyond.
He did an investigation.
Well, and so whether you're going to be satisfied with that, I don't know.
Oh, that is true. I didn't see that coming. An astute observation has led to laughter. We are laughing.
No, I don't think that this is a story that's going to be going away. I don't think that people who have followed this are going to be satisfied by a wave of the hand dismissal and then a lack of transparency of this level coming from the lieutenant governor's office. He can make all of this go away by sharing the mechanisms and the findings of his investigation, but he won't do that because he knows it would be likely be politically compromising for him, in my opinion. That's what's driving all this. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Coming up next, we'll give you an update on what happened this Monday for the Fountain Square skid row that was slated for removal by the city. I'm sure you won't be shocked at the results of that. I'll tell you more coming up next, so stay tuned.
The Indiana State Fair. It is a Hoosier masterpiece, a summer tradition like no other. I love the fair, the food, the concerts, more food, the tap room, the dairy bar, and coming up on August 14th, it's AAA Hoosier Motor Club Day, where AAA Hoosier Motor Club members get in free. AAA Day at the Indiana State Fair. You don't pay admission, just show your AAA card, and you are in for a full day of fun. And also going on right now is your chance to win a free music vacation with AAA's Ultimate Concert Sweepstakes. This includes 2 concert tickets to any Live Nation venue in the United States, plus airfare, hotel, and $200 to spend. Register online or on AAA Hoosier Motor Club's social media page. And if you subscribe to receive AAA Hoosier Motor Club emails, you get 5 additional entries. Visit AAA.com or call 844-GO, AAA GO, or stop by that local AAA office.
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard Air dealer. And owner Chris Wedekin sells the Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, a great option for heating and cooling where ductwork can't be installed.
If you have one of those homes that has baseboard heat or electric heat, ceiling cable heat, these can be specifically designed for those houses because in those houses it's very difficult having to do all the construction and remodeling that goes with adding ductwork into those types of homes.
Find out more by going to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text SAVVY to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SAVVY to 42424. That's SAVVY to 42424.
Call today or go to bwindow.com and receive up to 50% off plus a free patio door.
Because at
B-Window, we mean business.
This is the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIBC.
Hey, welcome back to the Tony Kinnett Cast. I'm your special guest host, filling in Ethan Hatcher from Saturday Night on the Circle every 7 to 9 on Saturdays here on WIABC. Thanks to Tony for letting me fill in the show. Producer Allison sitting over there, beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. Now, producer Allison, of course, has been following this story, as have many Hoosiers around the city of Indianapolis, of the Fountain Square Skid Row that's been simmering on the back burner for about 3 months now. It started with a few tents and has now expanded to more than 30 following stabbings, shootings, and mutilated animal remains, plus public defecation, theft, and other associated unlawful activities surrounding the encampment in Fountain Square, and the continued attention and pressure from the Indy Reporter account on Twitter, and you can follow them at Indy_Reporter_. Great follow. And because they put so much pressure on the city, continuously broadcasting the activities and the state of Fountain Square Skid Row, finally their hand was forced, and they announced the imminent closure of Fountain Square Skid Row as of August 11th. That was this past Monday. It is now August 13th as of this broadcast. Producer Allison, do you think that they got around to closing Fountain Square Skid Row?
Oh, I'm sure. It looks like looks like Disneyland again.
Yes, absolutely. Of course not. What? I attended a few weeks ago that homeless meeting for Fountain Square, and I said at the time, and the Hammer and Nigel talked about it on their show. They read my Twitter post, that these were not serious individuals. They were not going to bring a speedy resolution to this. And sure enough, after making the official deadline, there were no city officials that dropped by on Monday to begin the enforcement of the camp closure. And in fact, they have now extended the deadline. What a shock.
The city's deadline has come and gone for people to leave that encampment for the unhoused in Fountain Square. 13 News learned late this afternoon that the city now will not forcefully remove anyone from that area. Marina Silva went back to the location where tents for the unhoused are still lining our city streets.
Those living here on Leonard Street got an extension from the city. Ones we spoke with say they're hoping to move into their new housing soon.
For the last month, people living at this encampment in Fountain Square were told by the city of Indianapolis to find a new place to live. That deadline was Monday, August 11th. Now, on Tuesday, Angela Merrill says she is still waiting for her new home to be ready, and she has nowhere else to go.
Hopefully by tomorrow. It's a progress because it's got to be up to date for the government or their standards or whatever.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh,
okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Hey!
Money, please. Money, please.
Ben, give her some money. It's easier.
So what she was alluding to there is exactly what was discussed at the Fountain Square homeless meeting, being the city's solution to this problem is throwing money at landlords with the expectation they will keep units open to slot the homeless in and out of as the need arises, dictated by city caseworkers, and they still haven't gotten that up and going yet. They're evidently investing in cleaning and updating the properties before the transition of these individuals can go. And this is not going to ultimately solve the problem because they are not addressing the root causes. They are not addressing the antisocial behaviors that are being these individuals are engaging in and subjecting their neighbors to. I said this at the time when they held that meeting in Fountain Square for the homeless. The city is not serious. And that no progress is ultimately going to be made. And it's very unfortunate because they never want to have any level of accountability. They always believe that these individuals are victims of society and circumstance and not their own antisocial behaviors. They care more for these individuals than they do for the citizens. And you heard the reasons why that they were closing the camp to begin with: the shootings, the stabbings, the thievery, the animal mutilation, mutilated body parts being discovered in the vicinity of the camp. And still, the city is more concerned with their rights and well-being than yours, than the people who paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, not to mention the property taxes, to obtain these properties around Fountain Square, and then they're going to let it go to pot. And even James Briggs of the Indy Star admitted that when you make these public areas open to camping, you are essentially closing those public areas out to everyone else, because nobody wants to be around that. And now individuals are attempting to flee the neighborhood surrounding Fountain Square Skid Row due to the inaction of the city. And this is a problem that has plagued Democrat metropolitan areas around the country, including Washington, D.C. And this past Monday, President Trump announced that as part of the National Guard cleaning up the crime-ridden streets of Washington, D.C., they would also be dealing with the homeless encampments that are plaguing that metro as well, as announced by Carolyn Leavitt. I wish we had some National Guard here in Indiana that could do the same thing, because this sounds absolutely phenomenal.
Regarding the president's efforts in Washington, D.C., do you have any specifics about how homeless people will be dealt with, where they would be moved to? What does this look like?
I do, yes, and it's an important question, so thank you for raising it. The Metropolitan Police Department, with the support of the new federal agencies who have been surging on the streets of the District of Columbia, are going to enforce the laws that are already on the books here in Washington, D.C. For far too long, these laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city. So DC Code 22-1307 and DC Municipal Regulation 24-100 give the Metropolitan Police Department the authority to take action when it comes to homeless encampments. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced, which is part of the reason for this federalizing of the National Guard, to bring in this assistance for law enforcement. While we are targeting criminals and trying to remove criminals off of the streets, we also want to make DC safe and beautiful, and that involves removing mentally disturbed individuals and homeless encampments as well.
It's morning again in America.
This should be the common sense expectation of every downtown city. First and foremost, yes, you absolutely want to connect individuals to the services that they require. If they're mentally deranged, you need to get them off the streets and into an asylum, into somebody who into the care of individuals most likely paid for by the state that have the capability of dealing with extremely mentally unwell people, because the streets are not a solution to that problem. You need to connect individuals who have chronic addictions with therapy, with treatment for the addiction, and then get them on the road to self-sustenance and caring for themselves, and then connect individuals who have experienced joblessness with the resources they need, potential employers, and the ability for them to care for themselves. Everybody else who refuses the help, who refuses to avail themselves of these services should absolutely be arrested or fined, depending as the case may apply, because the antisocial behavior is unacceptable. Subjecting your neighbors to the violence, to the theft, to the drug paraphernalia, to the health threats by open defecation, open urination, and other associated antisocial activities that the homeless engage in is patently unacceptable. So I'm happy to see Donald Trump stepping up in the Washington, D.C. area, and it would be great if Indianapolis would take a cue, maybe even Governor Mike Braun take a look at what he could do with the National Guard or the state troopers, the state police here in the state of Indiana, to return law and order and sensibility to the streets of Indianapolis that Joe Hogsett and Ryan Mears continue to neglect. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. This is Ethan Hatcher filling in on the Tony Kinnett cast. One other thing I wanted to discuss before we end the segment. Of course, the continued problems in Indianapolis with youths running amok, little hoodlums vandalizing, shooting at each other, and causing problems for the city. The city council has proposed a rather limp-wristed response, altering the curfew for children ages 15 to 17. Not allowed to be in Marion County between 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays through 5 a.m. the next day, or between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. through the rest of the week. They are also proposing parents would have to pay a $500 fine. First, they would receive a written warning, a $500 fine. The second time their child violates curfew, and a $1,500 fine for each subsequent offense, but still ultimately no enforcement mechanism. Now, on the other hand, you have places like Gloucester Township, New Jersey, who have decided to take a zero-tolerance approach, and now will be punishing the parents of children who are repeated violent offenders in the city. And I think we need to be looking into options just like this that was being reported by Action News.
This new ordinance here in Gloucester Township lists 28 offenses ranging from felonies to minor infractions like loitering or breaking curfew. Now, if a child is found guilty in juvenile court repeatedly, well, that's when a parent or guardian could face 90 days in jail. Live here in Gloucester Township, Leland Pinder for Action News at 10 on PHL 17. Christy.
Yeah, parents could pay the price. Leland, thank you.
I'm on my land. We're both in America, which used to be a good country, until they started letting people like you do whatever you want.
It's time to start holding parents accountable, because when you're unleashing hooligans on the city that are not just causing mischief, but causing actual untold amounts of violence and assault, then drastic action needs to be taken, and that could include prison time. And I'm happy to hear Gloucester, New Jersey, taking those problems seriously and working to address them effectively. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Ethan Hatcher filling in on the Tony Kinnett cast. More on the way, so stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Got to get to windownation.com right now to check out these incredible savings this month. Get 50% off all Windows styles, 0 down, 0 payments, 0 interest for 2 years. You could be paying nothing until 2027. Let me repeat that offer, because I think it bears repeating. Window Nation, right now, 50% off all style of windows, and no money up front until 2027. Are you kidding me? I'm a Window Nation customer. I love my Window Nation windows, and you will too, especially with this offer.
Even if you're just thinking about getting new windows, call Window Nation and speak to a representative. Lock this deal in. Ask them how you can get all of the savings. 866-90-NATION. You can schedule a fast, free estimate with Window Nation. And if you want to get the savings, you need to speak to somebody today. 866-90-NATION, or go online to windownation.com. But you have to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Two of the best summertime traditions are back. The Indiana State Fair and the Indiana Farmers Dairy Bar since 1941. This year featuring the key lime pie milkshake and the smoked Gouda Q grilled cheese with Gouda cheddar barbecue sauce on Texas toast. The Indiana Farmers Dairy Bar since 1941. Open 9 to 9 at the Indiana State Fair, across from the Coliseum. Brought to you by American Dairy Association Indiana, your Hoosier Dairy Farm families. Find out more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Hilltop Hideaway, a premier Brown County log cabin on 5 wooded acres, has fall availability. August discounts too. HilltopHideawayLogCabin.com.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org.
Look through your children's eyes, and you will discover the true magic of a forest. Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This isn't closing time.
It's the Tony Kinnett Cast on 93 WIPC.
Closing. That's fantastic. Great choice from producer Allison. This is the Tony Kinnett Cast. Ethan Hatcher filling in for Tony Kinnett while he's out of the country, the international traveler that he is, and will be returning sometime next week, I imagine. But I will be here tomorrow evening for Thursday, and then rounding out the week, Jerry Lopez returns, so you can enjoy that. But in the meantime, producer Allison and I were discussing the descent of these Cthulhu-esque monsters on Fort Collins, Colorado, where these rabbits have been ravaged by a bunny papilloma virus that is causing them to sprout evil, maniacal, black tentacle-like growths from their mouth and their head. And this is some pretty crazy stuff, Allison. Tell the listeners what you saw. Describe the appearance of these bunnies.
Yeah, I've seen the story, but I have not seen the pictures until just now. And they're so sad. They're calling him Frankenstein. They have like these black little horns that are growing out all over their face. It looks painful. I feel bad for them.
Well, according to the reports, fortunately, these growths aren't physically painful to the rabbits, but they can interfere with their feeding or health if they grow like on their eye or in their mouth or places like that. But otherwise, they are benign, at least this according to the news.
Some Southeast Fort Collins neighbors noticed bunnies were cute. Wasn't exactly the word that came to mind. I snapped this photo of one of the rabbits I've seen with the growth.
Like a scabbyish looking kind of growth over her face.
Looks like it was black quills or black toothpicks sticking out all around his mouth.
Susan Mansfield said she saw a different bunny with tentacles in her yard in recent years.
He had the same black stuff on him, and I thought he would die off during the winter, but he didn't. He came back a second year, and it grew.
Some?
Yes, I have.
Feel bad for our tiny neighbors.
If they have, something that, we can help them with.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife confirms this is a virus that's not contagious to other animals like people's dogs, but they say leave this wildlife alone like you would with any of the neighborhood bunnies.
Stop it, please, I beg you! It's a sin! It's a sin! It's a sin!
Now, apparently these horn-like growths that are coming out of the rabbits' heads are the basis for what was incorrectly identified as the American jackalope. The rabbits that are supposed to have antlers growing out of their head.
That's hilarious. So really someone did see a jackalope.
Yeah, they just didn't know what they were looking at.
That's crazy.
So you got a little bit of cryptid history and mythology debunking here on the Tony Kinnett Cast this evening. No such thing as a jackalope, but there are very much such things as Cthulhu monster, rabbits with rabbit papilloma.
Bunnies.
Yeah. Got horns growing out of their face. Crazy stuff. And if that wasn't shocking and frightening enough, give you some things to worry about before you go home this evening. Also, reports at a Savannah nuclear facility about radioactive wasps that were discovered near their containment facility.
Why not?
Of course, radioactive wasps. What next?
We're learning more about the radioactive wasps found at Savannah Riverside. The U.S. Department of Energy says
in a report that the wasps were found on July 3rd near a tank storing nuclear liquid. Officials say when they found the nest, it had 10 times the amount of radiation allowed by federal regulations. Officials add that there is no danger to the public and there is not a leak in the waste tanks. They say this is known as on-site legacy radioactive contamination. Workers there safely disposed of the nest as nuclear waste and did not find any wasps either.
No, don't like that.
You know why they didn't find any wasps, producer Allison?
Yeah, they left.
Right! They already escaped. They're in the wild. Now you got radioactive wasps potentially breeding in the woods, creating like mutant offspring. What's going to happen with these radioactive wasps? Are they bigger? Are they more stingier? Are they going to like, are they going to bite somebody or sting somebody and turn them into wasp man?
Yeah, I love how the reporter was like, there's no danger to the public. Absolutely there is. There's radioactive wasps.
Radioactive wasps. Now, I will tamper the fears just a little bit, because when they say it's 10 times the radioactive level, that's what's deemed as the absolute limit of safety in the radioactive facility, and that bar is set pretty low. So for something to be 10 times that bar is not actually very radioactive at all. But still, any level of radioactivity when it comes to wasps is unacceptable.
I'm good.
Right. Absolutely. Thanks for listening to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Ethan Hatcher filling in on the Tony Kinnett cast. If you want to hear more of me, I will be returning to the airwaves tomorrow, filling in once again. And then also you can listen to my show Saturday night on The Circle from 7 to 9 every Saturday night. And be sure to catch the podcast uploaded to WIBC.com, as well as my personal podcasting page, Saturday night on thecircle.fireside.fm. That's all we got for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow. This is Ethan Hatcher and producer Allison signing out on 93 WIBC.
Fostech is American-made firearms made right here in Indiana. American craftsmanship meets cutting-edge innovation. Their lightweight AR-15s are incredible, and they don't sacrifice dependability or durability. Advanced machining capabilities create incredible products, and they are all designed, machined, assembled, and tested right here in Indiana. Fostech, owned by a family that has served and loved their country. Find a dealer near you or visit Fostech.com. That's F-O-S-T-E-C-H, Fostech.com. Use promo code WIBC for 10% off your order.
Have recent storms caused damage to your roofing or siding? Cochran Exteriors is now offering free inspections to assess the condition of your home. From blown-offs to full replacements, Cochran Exteriors knows the insurance process and will make your home as good as new as fast as possible. Trust a company that was here before the storm and will be long after. For your free, no-obligation consultation, schedule today at CochranExteriors.com or call 317-ROOFING. Cochran Exteriors, referred for a reason for over 50